right, Jeffrey Beri, we're live. It's a hot mic. You're the founder of No Dogs Left Behind. And I know you've spent a lot of time in rescuing many, many dogs, which is really incredible. You've been doing this international dog rescue for a long time. You have an international dog rescue organization fighting to end dog trafficking and slaughter markets globally. I know you spent your life essentially on the road, even though you originally were in the jewelry business, which is just, I didn't even understand how you go from one to the other, but I love that you did that. And now you have been on the ground also in Ukraine. So talk about what's been going on there. Where are you right now?
So let me just say this. So we are now dispatching to Ukraine. We leave in the next 24 hours.
Got it. Okay.
The team will be heading in, and we're heading into extremely dangerous areas, areas that were Russian occupied, war torn, and we're, No Dogs Left Behind fights the fight in the front lines. As you mentioned, we have been fighting tirelessly to end what's called the dog meat trade by shutting down dog traffickers, by shutting down slaughterhouses, by intercepting dog trafficking trucks.
Yeah.
Our mission is beyond borders. From a 10,000-foot view, No Dogs Left Behind fights for global animal welfare laws. We believe that no country has the right to recklessly slaughter, and no country has the right to operate without any animal welfare laws.
Right.
Just think that a superpower country like China has no animal welfare laws. I mean, how could that be in today's day? So in any case, our recent events also expanded because No Dogs Left Behind operates beyond borders. We also believe that rescue has no borders. And No Dogs Left Behind chooses to go in the worst possible regions in the world to fight the fight in the front lines, because many people won't. And that's not to say that they're good or bad, but that's
no, it's just this is what you guys do. You choose to do it. And
we risk our lives on the front lines. We want to be where we're needed most. And now, Afghanistan was an incredibly dangerous mission with the Taliban, and AK-47s pointed at me, but we evacuated 300 survivors on an Illusion 17 Russian military cargo plane. I mean, that whole event, we need to do a show one day on that for me to talk about what happens, what's going on there. And that's in a separate segment. But right now, all my efforts and all planning and our security teams and teams from around the world, we're heading into Ukraine. We're heading in to support the people on the ground there that stayed there with the voiceless, that have 3,000 dogs, 1,000 dogs, 500 dogs across Ukraine. We're going into areas where it's extremely dangerous, where we have to operate, almost like the UN with, during the day. At night, there's still battles going on. We're going through these areas. And our intentions are, just so you know, to create a sustainable solution. And I can't really talk about who we're meeting with for security purposes.
Of course,
but
no, you can't do that.
We're being called in to help with what's going on the ground there, how we can improve upon the shelters there, how we can create an underground railroad for evacuating survivors, how can we and it's also humanitarian too. My family has homes in Budapest, Hungary, and we plan on bringing in, on a humanitarian basis, families and bringing in animals and dogs to our homes in Hungary, letting them stay there for multiple years if they need to, until they can get back on their feet.
Yeah.
This was a decision that was made by my family and the foundation. So our intentions are to go in, to work with people on the ground, to work with government officials, to work with, in some cases, better understand what's going on a military basis, to help with possibly evacuating survivors when battles could occur, and how we can move them rapidly to locations where they're safe, how we can create a sustainable solution on the ground with so many dogs that are running rampant all over the place, creating sterilization programs. So
you have to do that. Yeah, of course. So you have to bring, let me ask you, do you bring vets with you? How do you do all that?
Yes, one vet will be coming with me. Jenny, what's really important that everyone needs to know about No Dogs Left Behind is we never bring armies. We grow them. Just like in China, I went to China by myself.
I know.
And we are 10,000 large there. 10,000 large, an underground army of activists and volunteers. They need to fight their battles. What we need to do is support them financially and with sustainable solutions to have to be able to be scalable, to grow it throughout these regions. So they fight the fight, but we provide them with financing, an underground railroad to evacuate
you have
survivors, training them on how to take care of the dogs, how to rebuild their locations that were blown to pieces by the Russians. So all the, war is just terrible any way you look at it. And we're not there for political reasons. We're not there. We don't care about race, religion. We care about the voiceless. So we go in and we risk our lives for the voiceless. And that's what this mission's about.
Yeah, no. And now you're, as I said, you're going to Ukraine, which, I mean, I find this stuff so scary. I would be petrified. And I understand you do it because you care about the dogs. But I think, like, how do you feel so brave? How are you not afraid that you're going to get shot?
I have to say, when I was, and I can only say this by experience, you're on autopilot. And many of you people out there know or have experiences when it's life-threatening. You just get things done. And,
you just do that.
I don't have a military background, but most people say you must come from a military background because we run our foundation like that. And, when I go there, I'm going there with the notion that I may not come out. I may not come out of there.
Horrible.
And that's a risk that we take and I take. And that's what the foundation is. We did the same thing with Afghanistan. Look, I went into Afghanistan. I was in the Taliban's hands. When I went to and I signed up to go there, the Taliban made me sign a piece of paper saying that we are no longer in the American jurisdiction. I am in the jurisdiction of the Taliban. That you could possibly not be forced to stay there.
Yeah.
Things can happen to you there.
Of course.
Your life is at risk there. You enter at your own risk, and nobody can help you. You sign your life away, and I did that. And I'm going to do it again now. I don't have to sign, documentation like that, but I'm going in there, and you can bet everything that, we have a very strong security team. We're going in there in a convoy. We're not going there to battle. We're going in there to save lives. We're fighting on the front lines, and we're fighting for the voiceless. Donations are incredibly important right now.
And that's, people can get that too. Right. And you could do that by going to NoDogsLeftBehind.com, just so people know. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, NoDogsLeftBehind.com, and it's very simple to donate. You can donate to the Ukraine cause. I mean, we need it now. We need to evacuate the survivors now. We need to evacuate, on a humanitarian basis now. Everybody, we all need to stick together. This is a global war in the sense for cruelty, and a global fight for sustainability. And in this case in point, we're not fighting the dog meat trade. We're not fighting with the Taliban to get the dogs out. We're fighting for the voiceless that are caught in between, just like the humans are, caught in between a war where they are just helpless, starving to death, being blown to pieces. Yeah. I mean, it's just, I can't imagine myself not going there and assisting, the brave volunteers and activists and people who own these shelters that never left. I mean, I'm going to meet with somebody and I'll report back to you, and I'll even go live there with you. One person that the zookeepers, they all took off. The bombs were blowing up literally like down the block. Okay. She stayed there. She was feeding the animals in the zoo and feeding her dogs at the shelter while bombs were blowing up. I mean, I cannot allow one person to do that and not go there and to show my support.
I get that. No, of course. That makes sense.
That's why No Dogs Left Behind is true to its cause, and that's beyond borders. No Dogs Left Behind borders.
Jeffrey, what's going on with Canada right now?
That's another devastating blow to rescue. It's just incredible. The Americans banned the importation of dogs from 113 countries. We fought tooth and nail with the CDC with valid reasons why they need to overturn their ban. They overturned their ban, and I would have thought that the Canadians would have followed in pursuit of not just banning, but providing a solution. Like the United States CDC overturned their ban of the importation by providing rules and regulations. You get the dogs tighter tested at government recognized laboratories in the countries that are banned, and then the laboratory and the dogs have specific microchips that can't be falsified. And then the dogs are permitted to come into the States. They land. There is a procedure when they land. They are health checked. They're giving another vaccination, and the dogs come in. It's an 80-day process. And 80 days is a long time, but it's a process, and it's a give and take. And that's what's done similarly around the world, and there's no rabies outbreaks, and there's no rabies concerns. So you would have thought that the Canadians would have followed pursuit in the same strategy that the Americans take, as well as the UK, countries like the UK take. So we're fighting that right now. But what I have to say to the audience and everybody is we're in desperate need of funds because they closed the border September, I think it's September 10th or something like that. We need to evacuate as many of our dog meat trade survivors from China. So we're fighting on all fronts. We're literally fighting on all fronts.
How do you keep yourself calm? How do you keep yourself calm, Jeffrey?
Like I said, it's on autopilot. I mean, I have a great team. I take great pride in my team. Globally, our team. I mean, we have incredible volunteers out there. You guys don't have to come with me on the front lines. You can volunteer.
You don't all have to go to Ukraine. Right, exactly.
Well, you're more than welcome to come with me if you want. The doors are open, but but you can volunteer from where you are. And what I can say is that I'm very focused with attention to detail. My security teams are on fire. They're ready. Everyone's ready to go. Wow. The expression, we're going with our guns loaded. Obviously, we're not going in there with guns, but we're going in there ready to do what we need to do, but with the notion that our lives are at risk, and we have it very well planned out, our roads planned out, our locations planned out, time of when we travel planned out, and we're flying.
And then talk me through,
with the flag.
Talk me through when you bring an animal back stateside, how that works, how that all plays out.
So the process right as it stands right now is for No Dogs Left Behind, and we hope and encourage other rescues follow suit in this, is that we have all of the dogs tighter tested for what's called leishmania, which is a zoonotic disease, brucellosis, which is a zoonotic disease, and rabies, which is also a zoonotic disease.
Okay.
These diseases are they conduct what's called titer tests, where they check that the body has the antibodies, and then if the bodies have the antibodies, then the dogs they're not exposing these zoonotic diseases. On top of that, the dogs get health checks, and then with all of that documentation, we at that point apply for transport certificates, commercial transport certificates, and then the dogs can land in the country that they want to land in.
Okay.
In cases like Canada right now, we're not even, and they don't even ask for that right now. You could just arrive with a dog with a rabies certificate, and the dog can land. But we still are taking it one step forward to protect the Canadian people, to protect the American people, and to protect any country that we're transporting dogs through, so as to not have zoonotic disease, because we've learned about so many of them that many rescues, including myself, didn't know about, that exist out there. And it's not endemic, it's pandemic. And I think that's another Jenny Hutt show that we should have, because it's a matter of protecting the people. And I think that it's worthwhile for a show on what you can be exposed to, what you can do to protect yourself, your family, your kids, and also the people.
Yep. I think what you do really matters, Jeffrey. Thank you, as always, for being on the show. When you ship off to Ukraine, be safe with the people you're going with. Go get some dogs that need to be rescued. I'm I'm a fan of all that you do because I love dogs. I love animals. I just do. And all I want is for them to be safe and treated with respect. They're so good to us. They're just so good to us.
I know, Jenny.
You know,
Jenny, can I just say one thing? We have dogs at the Canadian shelter that are ready to be adopted.
Oh, how do they do that? How do people do that? Yeah.
And people can log on to No Dogs Left Behind, our adoption page, our foster page. Listen, the more dogs we move into homes, the more dogs that walk the streets. These dogs have a story to tell. They're ambassadors for the movement. The more dogs we could save. We need help with fundraising. We need help with volunteering. We need help with adoptions and fosters. Go to NoDogsLeftBehind.com.
Okay.
And you can click on any of the buttons. Thank you, Jenny. And I will be reporting to you from Ukraine. Okay?
Yeah, check in with us. All right. Thank you. Be safe, Jeffrey.
Peace
Take
out.
care.
All my love to you and all my love to the people of the show and all my love to your fans.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. He's so brave. I could not do any of that. It's pretty amazing. All right, let me do a pet hut list before I get to Dr. May. And you guys start thinking about what you want.